Raspberry Pi is the perfect little device if you want to make a NAS, but making it is pretty hard, especially using something like OMV. This is where Fygo OS comes in, because it makes the situation way easier to use a NAS and make your own home server and stuff like this, media server and stuff like this on a Raspberry Pi. So in this video we're going to explore Fygo OS to see what it brings and how easy it is to actually use it on a Raspberry Pi 5. So let's jump into the video. Now this is the interface that you will get when you install Fygo OS on the Raspberry Pi 5. Now do keep in mind there's a big difference between this one and OMV, which in my opinion OMV was the best until now. Now if I go into system settings here, how you can see, I can see the Pi 5, I can see the device ID, Fygo account and connect. Here I can see all of the details that I want to see here. I can see the ARM processor, which is an ARM Cortex A76 with 4 cores and 8 GB of RAM. This is what I got on the Raspberry Pi. Now do keep in mind that the OS is actually installed on a microSD card. I know it says that the drive type SSD, but it is installed on the microSD card. Fast microSD card, but still microSD card. And you will have the normal user and stuff like this. Here you have the storage, which is only 128 GB microSD card here, and you will see it as a volume and stuff like this. So the settings are the normal setting that you will get. Here is the remote access and stuff like this. You get everything that you will normally get on the Fygo OS operating system for Intel and AMD, so x86, I'm sorry. Now the big difference that you will see will be in the App Store. Now the moment you open the App Store, you will see that there's not a lot of apps available. So I do have the NVIDIA drivers, the Llama, but how you can see, I don't have any Jellyfin, I don't have any Plex, MB. Well, Plex is not available by default, but MB, for example, is available, and here is actually not. I do have FygoTV, so I can still use their own application if you don't want to use this one. And let's log in here. And you can still use this one if you want to watch your movies and stuff like this, but I don't have any of the ones that, you know, Jellyfin and stuff like this. But you can still install them. I have Jellyfin installed and I will show you guys how to do it. Now, before we continue, I just want to make sure that we understand. Raspberry Pi at the moment only had 128 GB of storage and is not part of the storage that you can see the movies. So the movies are at the moment connected to an SMB drive on another server. I just connect the server and then I'm just using it to put the movies here. But how you can see, direct play, which it will be the thing that you probably have to expect in a Raspberry Pi 5. Direct play, yes, it's loading a little bit and stuff like this, but probably once it loads, it will work with no problems. Now we'll skip here and we're going to see how long it actually takes to actually run. And that's it. I think once it's loaded, the movie starts, then you won't have any more problem. The thing is that on FygoTV, I can't see if it's advanced setting. Let's see here. So yeah, I can't see if it's converting, if it's direct play, if it's not. So it's a little bit of a bummer, but the application does work nice with no problem. Now, if you do want Jellyfin and any other application that you would use for Docker, unfortunately, you actually have to use the Docker app. You won't be able to install it from here because there's nothing. And if I go to entertainment, how you can see here, I only have DAW Music and FygoTV. Now I did install Jellyfin using the Docker app and it actually works pretty easy. I go into container here and I go into Jellyfin here and I put my username and my password. And how you can see, I have all the movies here that I want to watch and stuff like this, and a little bit of a lag when I'm moving left and right. But yeah, we have everything here with no problem. Now let's select the movie. Now this movie, how you can see, it's a 4K movie, right? I will click play, and do remember it's an ARM processor, Raspberry Pi 5. It's a pretty good device, but it's not the best one when it comes to, you know, to high-end demands. I do have 8 GB of RAM, so it's not the 4 GB, it's the 8 GB version. But how you can see, the movie started, and if I go into playback here, I can actually see that the video playback, it's remixing, whatever remixing is. I only knew about direct. Okay, so it has here is direct play. Now I can watch the movie with no problem once it starts. It's the same like FygoTV. Once the movie starts, you can watch the movie. Otherwise, you won't be able to watch the movie. You have to wait a little bit, and once it starts, it just works. Now my thing is that transcoding is probably going to be a big downfall if you want to go for a Raspberry Pi. So let's select here 10 and let's just go back a little bit, and this will force the Raspberry Pi into transcoding. Now let's open a little bit system resources just out of curiosity to see how will it go. Now how you can see, it's already loading, and probably because the processor is already going right now to probably 100%, and it's slowing down the entire OS. But how you can see here, we have the CPU at only 1%. I didn't expect this. Okay, so the utilization here is 86%, 79. So it does kind of works. Now the movie still didn't start. We're still waiting for the transcoding to see what's going to happen. Again, it's just working. The CPU is actually using more and more, but we'll have to see if the transcoding will actually start and how long it will actually take. Now how you can see here, the CPU is actually going up and down. It has like 90%, 86, 93, and now it's going down a little bit. And the movie does have a picture, but it still didn't start. So we're going to see how long it's going to take, if it's going to manage to take it. Yeah, I'm gonna assume right now that there is no chance of transcoding this movie. Now let's search for a different movie, for a 1080p movie, if I have any. Ballerina, here it is. This one is a 1080p movie. Now let's try this one, and this one should start in normal direct play. No, it actually started with transcoding because it's selected. Okay, so 1080p, how you can see, I managed to transcode with no problem. How you can see, the CPU went down when I stopped it, and I went back up. So 94% of usage at the moment. And now it's direct play. So we got information here that the movie that we're watching is direct play. It's not transcoding anymore. So let's go down to 4 megabits here. And here, how you can see, it's already appearing as transcoding. So this one will probably put the processor again up. And we have 95%, 98, 93. But the movie does work. So having a server, a Jellyfin server with 1080p movies, you can actually use with Fygo OS, use transcoding, and it will work perfectly, no problem. I'm actually surprised. Now, direct play, of course, we're not going, I don't know why I clicked this. Direct play, of course, is going to work. All direct play will work, but we have an idea. 1080p movies, it will work. 4K ones, only direct play. If you want transcoding in 4K ones, then we'll have a problem because you won't be able to transcode. But this is the problem with the ARM version, especially on the Raspberry Pi 5. So I don't know on other ARM devices, but on the Raspberry Pis, the App Store is pretty limited. You will have to use Docker. Now, the best thing about it is that it's super easy to actually install and set up Docker. Now, for example, I will stop the Jellyfin one and I will delete it. Now, to install Jellyfin, all we have to do is just open Docker here, and then we just go to image registry. And this is not just for Jellyfin, it's for every single app that you want to install. But for us, because I want to reinstall Jellyfin, we're going to search for Jellyfin and we're going to download, click download on this one. Once you download it, you will have it here in local images. And how you can see here, it's already created on the 6 of the 6. Oh, probably this is when you click, okay, because I downloaded it yesterday. Now I'm going to click on the play button. We're going to leave the name the same. If you want to change it to a different name, you can change it to a different name. Resource limit, and you take this one, you say how much power you're going to give to this specific application. Auto start and boot, and enable GPU support. Enable GPU support, it's only if you have a GPU that you connect to a Raspberry Pi. If you don't have a GPU, it will use the ARM GPU that is incorporated, so you don't need to actually enable this one. And then click next. And how you can see here, I have two folders, cache and config, that I have to mount to tell Jellyfin, tell Docker where they are. Now, how do you do that? You click on this icon. You go into your folders that you will create for apps. I just created a folder for apps. And here I'm going to create a new folder called Jellyfin. Now in Jellyfin, I'm going to create another folder, and one is for cache and one is for config. And I confirm, I open it, and I select the cache one first. See how you can see here in /cache, and config is going to be in Jellyfin and config. Now I need to add one more folder which will tell Jellyfin where are my movies and my shows. Now if I click add option, add paths here, I'm going to go to remote mount because how I said my movies are on an SMB because it's connected to a different server. going to open this one and select my movie folder here and click confirm. And here I put /movies. Now if you have shows in a different folder, you do the same thing. You have music in a different folder, you do the same thing. If you have all of them in the same folder, you just put /movies, and then once you open Jellyfin, then you can select that this folder is for music, this folder is for TV show, this folder is for the movies. You will need read and write permission, but how you can see, I automatically give it to it, and that's it. Literally that's it. Now you click next, and you click create container. Once the container is successful, how you can see, if you go to container here, Jellyfin is actually appearing up and running. So now all I have to do is just click on Jellyfin. It gives me this error because I have it earlier for you guys installed. I'll give it a name, and I'm going to give it Pi5. Give it a username, I'm going to say the same username. Password, and here I will just add my movies. Select movies, and that's it. That's how easy it is to actually install any application using Docker, using with this one. Now you can use Docker Compose and stuff like this, but image registry is super easy, and once you understand it a little bit, it becomes like normal. Now we're going to connect with our username and password here, and that's it. Jellyfin is now scanning for the movies that we gave, and this is how you install Jellyfin, and you can install any other application that you want on this little device. Now another thing that I prefer Fygo OS rather than something like OMV is the SMB share, and I actually showed it in my original Fygo OS thing. But if I go into files and I create a new folder here, and let's call this one data. The moment I create this folder, the SMB share, it's already accepted. All the requirements, all the permissions are already allowed. So if I go and put here 5.9, it'll ask me to connect, yes. I'll put the username and the password of the Fygo OS. So when you log into Fygo OS, you have a username and password, you put that username and password, and you click connect, and voila. Now why it took so long is because Jellyfin is scanning on a different server. It has to use my internet, my bandwidth, and it does take a little bit. Now Jellyfin is also connected to 100 megabits per second, even though my Wi-Fi and my cables in the house are connected to 1000. The reason is I'm using an extender to actually connect, and the extender can go more than 100 megabits. It does slow down the system a little bit. If I go on my desktop and I'm going to copy, let's say this one, I'll go and I'll put it in data here. Now again, the speed is going to be limited because I'm connected to 100 megabits, and it's also a Wi-Fi extender, which is wireless. But how you can see, it's copying the files with no problem. So no more permission, no more nothing. I just made a folder and my life becomes easier. Because like this, you can buy something like a Raspberry Pi5, make your own NAS in less than 5 minutes, literally less than 5 minutes, and you have access to movies, already permissions, they're ready to go, they work by default and everything. It's really, really impressive, and I do really love this one. Now we're going to wait for this one to copy, which is a little bit about a minute, and how you can see, it was completely copied. Now I can close this one, and now if I go into data here, how you can see, I actually have the file over here. Now I can open it directly from here. I can do whatever I want. I can watch it, I can stuff like this. And this is why I'm saying that the operating system right now for the NASs are changing a lot. Something like OMV doesn't even make sense, especially if you're like a beginner and stuff like this in the space field, because you have everything. We have an interface rather than command prompt and stuff like this. You got everything working straight from the back. Now you do have a lot of limitation using a Raspberry Pi rather than a computer with an Intel or AMD processor. The main thing I would say is the Appstore, but it's also the performance. But you do get a big advantage, and that's the consumption, the voltage of how much you're actually using. And yeah, this is what I'm saying. The Raspberry Pi 5 on Fygo OS, I'm sorry, it works perfectly. Now keep in mind, you have 8 GB of RAM, so you can install multiple applications if you want to. For example, one of the applications I really love is Jotty, and I actually showed it on the previous one. It's literally one of the best ones that I used, and then I just install it here. You click download, you click on which version you want, confirm. And this is what I use for my notes and stuff like this when I'm having to create a YouTube video. I put all of my notes, bugs, error, what I like, what I don't like about the device, and then I read it and then I come in front of the camera. This is what I personally use, and how you can see, it is downloading. Now again, if you have the OS connected to something else with a higher speed, then it will be faster. But at the moment, because it's 100 megabits per second, that's really slow in our generation. But I know there are some people which this is the maximum speed that they have. So this is why I'm using lower speed compared to other ones. Because on lower speed, all operating system will work sometimes really slow, or the interface won't even load. While on high speed, everything works out of the box. This is how I tested to make sure that even low speed internet can use the operating system and stuff like this, and it was going to be usable with a decent experience. Now, how you can see, Jotty is now downloaded, so we're going to click on plus, going to give the same name, CPU we're going to give the same, auto start, because I do like my program to start automatically in case of a restart or something happened, but if you don't want auto start, you don't have to. Next, and how you can see, we have the port, which is 3000, so we already know it's going to be on port 3000, and storage location. Now, how you can see here, I don't have anything config, cache and stuff like this. Now, when you don't have nothing, that means you only need one folder, and that will be the config folder. So what I do, I just create a Jotty folder here, and in the Jotty folder, I'm just putting a config folder. And I'm going to select the config folder here, going to put a /config, and then that's it. Going to click next, create a container. Now, one thing that you have to remember, it's not all applications work on ARM. So if you have a Raspberry Pi or another device that has an ARM processor rather than Intel or AMD processor, so it's x86, I'm sorry, some application doesn't run on ARM. So you have to remember this one. You have to make sure you research which application runs and which application doesn't run on ARM. Now, again, taking this long is not because of the Raspberry Pi, it's because of Jellyfin actually scanning, and I'll probably be a good idea to stop Jellyfin while I'm recording this video. Now, how you can see, Jotty is fully completely made. Now, Jellyfin, how you can see, is still running, so we're going to stop the container at the moment. And Jotty is the same thing, you just click. If you don't remember the port, it does have this little thing here for both Jellyfin and every single application that you install. I remember the port. And now you choose a username, a password, and you have access to the application. Now, if you ask me, if you're a Raspberry Pi user, something like OMV doesn't make sense right now because you have a lot of things to learn. While something like the Fygo OS and stuff like this, it's amazing because it does have a lot of functionality out of the box. You just click on it and it just works. And if you want to install an application, how you saw, super easy using the Docker app, or you can stay to their official App Store. Now, the official App Store at the moment is really limited, but with time, for sure, it will become really good. Now, the last other thing that you have, I didn't try it and I didn't test it because I don't have an external hard drive or something to connect it. I only have the microSD card installed, but you also have the photo app that you will install. And then like this, you install it on your phone and it will automatically back up your pictures and video, how Google Photos does or iCloud and stuff like this. And like this, you don't have to pay for any more subscriptions and things like this, with just a Raspberry Pi and a couple of hard drives. It's an amazing experience that you get from this little device using the Fygo OS operating system. But yeah, this is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you're still using a Raspberry Pi. Are you planning to try Fygo OS? It does have a 30-day trial and it does come also with a free version, so you don't have to pay if you don't want to pay. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next one.